Hello, everyone. We have maybe a record here set for the most people signed on for today. So I'm just going to give another minute, maybe two, just to make sure everyone can get on. My faithful webinar watcher, John Ortiz, how are you doing? Thank you for the shout out early. I appreciate you coming on here. Just going to give another minute or two. I thank you for those who are on time. That does mean a lot. Hopefully we'll set a record here with this webinar with the most attendees. Really excited about it. Just hang tight for another minute or two and we'll get this thing started here. All right, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the country. My name is Josh Elohim. I'll be your co-presenter for today. Also wanted to introduce Tasa Flint from Protective. Really excited to have her on board here. Just some quick housekeeping though before I talk to you more about Tasa. For the purpose of the call, everyone's going to be muted so that way we can get through this smoothly. Once we're finished, we're going to do a Q&A session where you can ask as many questions as you like. I can't guarantee we'll get through all of them. We'll try to answer the most pertinent, and we're going to have some fun here. If for some reason you're new to Back Nine Insurance, you don't have quote and apply, in the chat box, I put a link for you to go ahead and register. And that way you can have access to our life-changing complimentary software that we use. So real quickly, Tasa Flint is with Protective. She's our regional vice president. She has done a phenomenal job. She's been in the business about 14, 15 years. And she was actually on the retail side, so she really gets what we're looking for here. So we're really thankful to have Tasa. And without further ado, I'll stop talking here and let her go ahead and do her thing on. And again, the presentation is on guaranteed issue for mid to large size companies. Without further ado, thank you very much, Tasa. Take it away.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate the intro, and thank you everyone for your time. I appreciate that as well. And as Josh mentioned, the purpose of this presentation is to introduce you to Protective's new group term carve-out product called Executive UL and get you excited about the opportunity. The average case size is 6 figures, and some are even 7, so it can be a very nice payday for you. And another nice aspect about this program is that you don't have to be the group term carve-out expert to sell it, because our third-party administrator does the quoting, the implementation, and the administration of this product. So what is a group term carve-out? It's selling life insurance in the corporate market to medium and large companies that want to offer an additional life insurance benefit to their highly compensated employees in an effort to reward and retain them. So they carve the executives out of the group term plan and they offer them a better model of insurance. So the problem with the group term is that it doesn't work in multiples of salary if you're a highly compensated employee. If you're an employee making $50,000 a year and your group term caps you at $200,000 or $300,000 a year, that could be 4, 5, or 6 multiples of income. So that's not too bad. But if you're a highly compensated employee and you're making $200,000 or $300,000 a year, that's not even 1 multiple of income. So this group term carve out actually offers a much better model of insurance because of the higher death benefit features. Executive UL is not a group product or group insurance. It's actually individually owned policies where the employee is the owner, they choose their beneficiary, and the corporation pays the premium. It's normally designed as a low-cost plan with minimum funding, so that the corporation's paying the cost of insurance and that premium's increasing every year, so similar to an ART premium. And the sale of this product is going to be to the CEO, CFO, or benefits managers of the company. But just to reiterate again, this is not group insurance. It's individually owned policies for those top earners of the company, and the benefits paid for by the company in an effort to reward and retain them. This insurance offers higher death benefits than group term. It's completely portable, and there's no automatic benefit reductions at the older ages like you'll see with your group term. So the executive UL was actually designed with the help of our TPA, our third-party administrator, called Diane Eskin, and they've worked in the group term carve-out space for over 20 years. And we'll talk a little bit more about them later on, but I just wanted you to be aware that we've got experts that helped us design this program. And it's, as I mentioned, a corporate paid program. There's no voluntary aspect to it. It's got a guarantee issue type of underwriting. So that means there's no exam or labs required, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The executive UL it offers customizable designs because it is on a UL chassis. It's not a term product. It's a permanent product on a UL chassis, and it's actually a current assumption UL. So here are the product specifications. And I know it's a little boring, but they're important to know because they will help you identify the prospects. So the minimum number of lives is 25. The age availability is 18 to 85. We do have some additional underwriting for those 71 and older, and that would be a Part 2 non-med. And I should also mention anyone 80 and older, we are currently not offering coverage at this time due to our temporary COVID-19 underwriting guidelines, but it'll be nice once those are lifted to have that wiggle room. The good news is it doesn't come up too much though. Most people like to retire by 65, 70, but you know, when those guidelines are lifted, that will be nice. The employees' prospects have to be white collar, making at least $100,000 a year or more. The risk class is gender distinct unismoker. So that means that it's less expensive for females than it is for males. And we're not going to ask the employees about their nicotine and tobacco habits. The rate schedule is guaranteed for 5 years. The minimum face amount is $100,000 and the maximum face amount is $5 million. And there are some demographics and case size that goes into determining the max death benefit, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute or on the next slide. But what companies really like about this product or this program, other than the high death benefits and the very competitive pricing, is that 5-year rate guarantee. Most of our competitors only offer a 3-year guarantee, and we are offering a 5-year guarantee. So that's been a huge selling point for us. So another thing that companies really like about this program is the underwriting. So as I mentioned, it's just one risk class, gender distinct, unismoker, and 2 eligibility questions. In the past 90 days, have you been actively at work on a full-time basis? And in the past 90 days, have you missed 5 or more days due to illness or medical treatment? So just 2 questions, but I do want to remind you, if you're 71 or older, we will also ask for a Part 2 non-med. The minimum group size, as you all know, is 25 lives. And then if you look at the lower left-hand side of the slide, you'll see that formula that determines the maximum death benefit per employee. So if you've got a group of 25 to 49 lives, we times the number of lives by 40,000, and that'll give us the maximum death benefit per employee. If you've got a group size of 50 or more, we'll times the number of lives by 50,000. So for example, if you had a group of 30 people, we would times the 30 by 40,000, and that gives us 1.2 million. So the maximum death benefit for that group size would be 1.2 million each or per employee. Oh, and I did 2 other things I want to mention before I move on to the next slide. For group sizes 49 or less, we do what's called a Milliman score. So it happens behind the scenes. It's nothing that you have to worry about, but it's basically like a script check, and it's a scoring. And that happens for group sizes 25 to 49. And there is a chance that a group could be declined. It's like 1 in 2,400 are declined. And it's basically just looking for walking death claims. So that's a level of underwriting that you should be aware of. But for group sizes 50 or more, there's no Milliman scoring. And the other thing that comes up a lot or the question that comes up a lot is will we consider foreign nationals working outside of the United States with this plan? And the answer is yes, we will consider foreign nationals, or we will write non-US citizens working outside of the US as long as there's a US company base and they don't make up more than 25% of the population. So what exactly are the opportunities? Well, about 10% of the opportunities are either corporate owned or buyout. And I know I said that this is an employee owned policy, and that is the case for most of the sales. But for about 10%, we are seeing some corporate owned sales for buyout and key person options. So an example of key person would be, we've done a few ESOPs where they wanted to insure their key people. And we've also done a few law offices and medical offices where there's a lot of partners and they use this product for their buy sell. So that's about 10% of the opportunities. The remaining 90% of the opportunities are coming from the next 3 items on the slide. So the replacement business, that's by far the lowest hanging fruit. This product is so competitively priced, and being that we have that 5-year rate guarantee, the replacement business is very, very easy. Additional coverage, we're seeing a lot of these sales as well. So rather than carve the executives out of the group term plan, companies are just adding this benefit on top. So the executive or the highly compensated employee, they keep their group term and then they have this benefit on top of it. We're also seeing brand new carve-out opportunities. As you know, the labor market is very, very tight and companies are looking for ways to differentiate themselves from their competitors to keep that top talent. And then that last item on the list, cash value situations. You can overfund this product if you want to. There will be some cash accumulation, but it is a current assumption UL, so it may not be as sexy as some of the other cash building products out there, but it does have that flexibility. So you'll want to target medium to large companies with at least 25 employees, and you want companies large enough that when you carve out those highly compensated executives, that you're leaving enough employees left over to keep that group term. So medium to large size companies. And the example of industries where this works very well is going to be healthcare, law, retail, technology, consulting, education, engineering, financial services. But we're not limited to these industries. I just wanted to give you some examples. So an example of something outside this industry that we're working on right now, we've got an auto dealership that we're working on. We're ensuring the general managers, the highly compensated executives, and their top salespeople. But they do have to be, as a reminder, white collar, so no safety equipment, office type settings. We did have the Stuntmen Association approach us. They were interested in this plan. They qualified financially. They had enough people, but not a white collar type setting. So we were unable to accept them. Same with the Maine lobster fishermen. They were asking about this product, but unfortunately not in the white collar market. So if you aren't familiar with Dianeskin, they are a nationally known third-party administrator, or TPA, and they've been in business for over 40 years, and they've been in the group term carve-out business for over 20 years. And they're also SOC 2 accredited. And if you've never heard of that, it's okay. This is what it is. It's simple. It's the highest level of data security. And it's the reason why I bring it up is a lot of these companies during the sales process, they want to know, hey, is the TPA SOC 2 accredited? The answer is yes. And that means that their employee data is going to be secure if they choose to purchase this plan. Rick Eskin is the principal and lead in the sales process if you'd like his help with the sales aspect. And Jake Eskin, his son, he's also heavily involved. He does a lot of the quoting. So if you have any executive UL opportunities, you'll get to know Rick and Jake very well. They're great guys, good to work with. And as I mentioned in the beginning, they handle the quoting, the implementation, and the administration of this product. So as the producer, once the quoting's done, if you just want to step aside and let Diane Eskin finish everything up, you absolutely can. You just wait and collect your commission check. I have other producers that say, no, I don't want Diane Eskin talking to my client at all. I prefer that I'm the middleman, or everything goes through me, and that's fine too. We're happy to work with you however you think is best for your client. So this is a really cool real life example of how one advisor used the executive UL to create additional sales opportunities. So this is what happened. The advisor sold executive UL to a company where they insured 93 lives. They each bought $1 million of insurance, and he earned $55,000 of commission. So not too bad. So Rick Eskin at the TPA said, hey, advisor, why don't you ask that COO for permission to reach out to his executives to see if they need help with any individual insurance planning? And the COO said, sure, I'll shoot them all an email and let them know you'll be reaching out. So that advisor contacted all 93 executives. He made 24 additional sales. He sold 21 term and 3 IULs, and he earned an additional $67,000 of commission. So the total comp stemming from this plan was $120,000 of commission. And if you happen to be an investment advisor, I can only imagine the AUM. So we found that these large, medium to large companies, they're not really calling and asking about executive carve-out plans. Most of them don't even know they even exist. So it's something that you have to prospect for. And the first step to prospecting, you know this, is identifying your target customer. So who do you know in a medium to large white-collar company that is a benefits manager, CEO, CFO, or executive? And once you've identified those customers, hey, CFO, benefits manager, would you be interested in reviewing a group term carve-out option? Why? Well, it may lower the overall cost of your group life insurance plan, and it offers more competitive benefits to recruit and retain that top talent. Now, we do have some examples of some scripts. If you're not sure where to start, most people aren't. There's not a lot of experts in group term carve-out space. So if you're willing to even try, you're ahead of the game, in my opinion. But we do have some scripts that have worked well for some other producers that have been successful in selling this plan that we can get to you after the webinar. But anyway, if they say you approach your prospect and they say, yeah, we'd be interested in at least taking a look. Well, all we need is a census to quote the case. So you get your hands on the census, you shoot it to back 9, they get it to us. It takes 24 to 48 hours to turn those quotes around. And then we'll generally schedule a conference call, review those quotes, and depending on where we are in the sales process, determine what the next steps are. So that, my friends, is basically the protective executive UL opportunity in a nutshell. What questions do you have for us?
Great job as usual, Tasa, just straight to the point. Thank you so much. What a great opportunity this is. We've written some tremendous cases, and I know that there is one case in particular. I don't know if you can go too much into detail, but you guys just closed the monster. Any light you could shed on that, maybe without giving too much information away?
I mean, I can't tell you that the largest case we've placed so far was for a law firm, and the target on that was $3 million. So that producer walked away with a very nice paycheck.
I just fell out of my chair, and I have a stand-up desk here. How did that happen? No, so there is some incredible opportunities here with this. I know Rick Eskin personally. I met him several times in cases we worked on, so he's absolutely phenomenal in this space. So the questions are pouring in here. But again, Tasa, I want to say thank you so much. Really appreciate the opportunity. So now we're going to have our Q&A session. We'll give everyone a second. Just go ahead and ask your questions. I see them pouring in here, so we'll try to get to as many as we can. But again, if you work with business owners, you have these companies, it's not, in the past, it's been a lot of, back and forth here. I promise you, this is extremely simple. If you don't want to do anything, we take the case right over and just from start to finish, and you basically receive a commission check. If you want to be involved, we can help out there too. So you can definitely be involved. So let's get to some questions here. They're pouring in here. One more second here. So I know you had mentioned, did you mention some scripts there, Tasa, that any literature that people can use for like verbiage to help talk to the owners by chance? Is there anything you have there?
Yeah, there's a couple of different scripts depending on how you want to approach it. So I can definitely get those to you. But one of the easy ones is just basically asking, hey, executive, would you be interested in $5 million of life insurance with basically no underwriting paid for by your company? Well, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Well, not every company qualifies, right? So we need to find out if your company qualifies. So that's just one simple lead in, but I can get you like more specific scripts. Josh, I'll send them to you once we shut it down, and we can disperse those to anyone who's interested.
So we can get those to you. So you want to reach out to your marketing manager. If that's me, reach out to me. But if it's not, reach out to your marketing manager, and we will have access to those scripts to help out here. So in terms of, let's see a few more questions here. So someone said minimum of 25 applications or eligible employees.
So it's 25 applications, right? And it's non-voluntary. Keep that in mind. So those distinct classes of employees have to be defined, and everyone in that class has to participate. 25 minimum. We can't do groups smaller than that at this time. Maybe in the future, but at this time, 25 is the minimum.
Perfect. So someone said I can maybe, what is the process if I find a potential client besides collecting the census? Who do I contact? So the first, I can kind of answer that. So obviously the census is the first step of getting that. Send that to your marketing manager. Get that to us. Again, if I'm your marketing manager, send it over to me. Once we have that, then we will go ahead and we'll reach out to Protective. We'll get the ball rolling there. You let us know what your involvement process you want it to be. Do you want to be involved? Do you not want to be involved? And we can kind of take it from there. So really just send that census over to your marketing manager. We will get the party started here, get things going. And if everything lines up properly, it happens pretty quickly. So I've done several of these cases. It's a beautiful thing. Let's just say that. Perfect. So someone said, what's the estimated turnaround time? I don't know if you want to kind of just give a ballpark figure if you can.
I mean, that's a hard question to answer because it really depends on the companies. In terms of like the underwriting, that's very quick. It's like 5 minutes for it. Once we get the go ahead, the company says, yeah, we want to move forward with this plan. It's 5 minutes for the employees. It's all done electronically online for them to complete the application and all that stuff. And obviously the underwriting is almost instantaneous with those 2 eligibility questions. So that part's really, really quick. Where we've found some slowdown is sometimes companies find other priorities or everything's ready to go, but they are waiting to fund it. And so how quickly can we get the company to fund it? Let's say everybody's on board and they want to get it done super quick. I'd say like 2 weeks max. If everyone's like, yeah, let's just get it done and done.
And we've all done a life insurance policy. We know that would be like lightning fast to get done. So and it does. I've done several of these. So that is a pretty accurate. If things work out right, that's an accurate time frame there. Thank you for that. So another question that is the business required to have group term for this product?
No, that is not a requirement at all. We actually have some firms, a technology firm, for example, where they said, hey, this product's way better than any group term we can get. And every single employee at this technology firm was making over $100,000 a year. So they implemented our plan only for their life insurance plan. So as long as they meet those product specs, it doesn't matter what else they have in place.
Thank you very much for that, Tasa. So someone asked, does the commission change if I select to be less involved?
No,
it's a great
it doesn't.
question.
It's a good question, but it's 40% to the producer. That's the commission split, 40%. And remember, that's actually the highest paying comp in this group term carve out space right now. We've got the highest paying comp the highest paying comp and the lowest premium. So it's pretty good deal for you. We're just waiting for another competitor to like pop up and ruin our perfect positioning right now. But right now it's like, it's a go.
So I've been doing this for a while too, and we know that timing is so important in this business. I talk to agents all the time. How do I make $1 million? Well, you take a strategy that's fairly new, that's really competitive, and you run with it. So hopefully people on this call here do have clients. Obviously, it's nice to go out and prospect for new clients, but the goal is, can you go through your current book of business right now, and is there a client or two that fits this need here? If there is, give us a shot. Don't wait. Like you heard Tasa say, the products are going to change. Competitors are going to try to come in. So this is a great, and we know also you have an appetite for a certain amount of book of business, right, Tasa, for a certain amount. And once that appetite's filled, then I've seen things close up. So take advantage of this. Do not wait. I'm telling you, people, this is a great opportunity. Someone said, is there a rate chart available, or how do the rates compare like to individual UL market rates?
That's a great question. I do have some sample rates that I can get to you guys. Remember, this is basically a guaranteed type issue product. So the rates that are going to be much higher than what you could get if you went through full underwriting buying an individual permanent policy. That's going to be less expensive if you go through full underwriting, obviously. This product isn't designed, though, to compete with those products. It's designed to compete against the group term products that are available. So it is a much better, it's a much better model of insurance than the group term because of the higher death benefits, because it's permanent, because it's fully portable, and the way that it's taxed. I don't want to get into that too much, but actually the way that it's taxed is less than how they tax group term, because we're only taxing the premium. The premium's tax, whereas with group term, if it's above 50,000, it's taxed using those table 1 rates. So there's a lot of reasons why it's just a better model of insurance for those highly compensated employees. Like I think the way to think about it is an executive benefit for them. If you start trying to compare it to an individual policy, you're going to be disappointed. Just being completely honest, it's not what it is. It's not what it's designed to compete with. But it is much better than a group term.
Perfect. And, so I think you've kind of gone over this already, but who is the absolute best business who would you say is there the best fit for this? So someone who has X, Y, and Z, who would you say?
The most common people that we're seeing, and was on that list on the slide, I'd say law offices really love this. Medical, doctors, anybody in the medical field really like this plan, and technology has been another huge one. Because again, they're highly compensated professionals, so they meet the qualifications in terms of numbers and compensation. So.
And then would you also say someone who has a group plan in place already?
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who has a group term carve out already, those are the easiest, lowest hanging fruit for sure, just because our product is so competitive. We're saving, it depends on what they already have in place, but a lot of them, we're saving them at least 20% on premium. And we've got a 5-year rate guarantee. So it's been really easy to replace.
Just to recap, everyone, what's the lowest hanging fruit? If you talk to some of your business owners and they already have a group plan in place, you just want to do a review. A lot of agents are so afraid that the client's going to ask them a question they don't know about. All you're doing here is fact finding. I want to review what you currently have to see if it's adequate. You look like a knight in shining armor no matter what happens there. Whether you do the review and nothing comes of it, at least you've done your job, right? Well, if something does come of it, it's a win-win situation. So don't be afraid just to ask the question of, what do you currently have right now? That's very non-threatening, right? I want to do a complimentary review, see what you have there for the life insurance. Obviously, if they have individual policies, we can clearly help out with reviewing those as well, right? That's not a problem. But what we're looking for here is that group term policy and they want to have access to that executive carve-out. Just to recap, each employee has to, it's called 101J, right? You have to make at least $100,000 a year. And so we're excited to be able to get that on board. Any other questions here? Oh, so here we go. What happens to the rate at the 5-year mark? That's a good question.
So it's a current assumption UL, and it's just based on our current rate, right? Which right now is 2.5% I believe, I think it's 2.5. I should know that. I believe it's 2.5%. So it's assuming that rate doesn't change, then it's just going to be whatever we projected originally. So the only thing that's going to possibly change the price is going to be if we change our rate, or if we were to raise our cost of insurance, which Protective, in the over 100 years we've been in business, we've never raised our cost of insurance.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I can't know the answer to this one, but can the 25 enrollees be from one division of a company, or does everyone on the business need to qualify?
No, so it's a carve out. So you have to have a distinct group, but the company can determine how they distinguish that group. So some of them will say, hey, anybody making X amount of compensation, they're going to be this group. Or maybe they're going to say anybody with this title is going to be a group. They can decide how they want to carve it out, or as long as it's all non-voluntary and it all makes sense as to how they structured the group. Of course, Protective is going to look at it and make sure that, we're not trying to do some negative, or, they're just going to make sure the spread of risks makes sense for Protective, basically, as well. So something
Yeah,
else to keep.
and we know that, thank you for that, Tasa. We know that most group plans, it's everyone or no one, right? You can't discriminate. There's no carving out. It's really, and so the biggest differentiator here is, again, it's an executive carve out. So I might have 100 employees, but I can carve out the 25, junior and senior level partners, right? And that's because they make more money. So this makes so much sense. And that's a real freedom, where before, if it's group term, 100,000 is what's everyone getting, and that's really that, right?
Yeah. You can't say, hey, we're going to offer this to all of our salespeople, but we're not going to offer it to Josh and Tasa because they're loudmouths and they talk too much. We don't like them that much.
I love it.
We still got to offer it to us too if we're on the sales team.
There you go. No, but that is important though, because again, it does give some authority to the principals and the owners to be able to get those key people,
Exactly. Recruit and retain and reward.
Yep, the 3 R's. So someone said, so are these term policies or whole life policies on the employees?
So good question. It is confusing because it's called a group term carve out product, which makes you think it's a group term, but it's not. It's actually a permanent product. It's a current assumption universal life insurance policy. So it's not a term, it's not a whole life, it's a current assumption universal life insurance policy. And if let's say the employee decides to leave the company or retire, they can simply just start paying the premium and take that plan with them. So it's fully portable.
What it really is flexibility, right? So that product gives you the most flexibility, where term obviously has limitations, and so does whole life. So we love this product here. So someone said, do we need to have a census before we bring on the specialist? I guess I'll let you answer that question.
No, you don't need to have a census. If you want to just schedule a call, you have a company that's interested, we can schedule a call with the TPA and the company, and you as the producer, however you want to do it. But definitely the first step would be to get a census. We can take a blind census as well. Some companies may not be comfortable, well, that's okay. So if you want a blind census, we can get numbers. It at least gives us a starting point to talk about. We can tweak it from there. And sometimes just visually it helps people understand when they can see it on paper. But yeah, you do not need a census to have a discussion about a sale. Absolutely not.
Perfect. And I know most of the right people obviously know what a census is, but do you have maybe I've seen these before, where you just have a dummy census, or just something that we can send out to people if you need something to know what's needed? I know typically first, last name, date of birth, male, female, and then maybe a salary or something like that. But if you have something, would that help you all out if we were able to send you something of what's needed? I would assume so.
Yeah, we can definitely get some sample censuses out as well. Sample rates, sample censuses, and scripting. That's all easy to get to you guys.
If you have someone that wants to do this, do not hesitate. Give your marketing manager a call. Tasa is phenomenal on the phone as well. So give us a call and let's go ahead and get this thing going here. These cases are great. You're providing a great need for your, obviously with life insurance, if someone's not here, you feel the real value. But I'm telling you, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Now, one thing that just popped up in my head, Tasa, is that I've seen situations. Explain to me, talk to me about when a new employee comes into that fold that fits that requirement. Hence the gift that keeps on giving, right? Go ahead with that.
That's new. That's first year comp again for the producer because it's a new employee, and Dianescan handles all of it. So there's nothing you do that the producer needs to do. So it's pretty nice. Pretty nice
So
on
hence,
the back.
hence the gift that keeps on giving. So just to recap what Tasa just mentioned, that when there's a new employee, that's a new commission. Did everyone just hear what I just said right there? And we know that people come and people go, right? It's part of the equation here. But so hence we want to use this as the 3 R's. It's used to reward, recruit, and retain all your current and future employees. Well, so, and you keep on getting, this isn't something like term insurance, you get paid one time and that's it. You could, over 10-year period, you could have brought on 15, 20, 100 more employees, right? In that time frame. So it's a great opportunity to be able to not only to help the current clients out, the current employees, but it's a great recruiting tool to get those new people on board, and you get compensated for it as well.
Yeah, the renewal is 4% to the producer years 2 through 10, and then 1% 11 and beyond. So there's a nice little renewal built in there as well.
That's a great incentive to keep on this group here. So this is a great opportunity. We call it chunky money, right? Let's pay some of this for some of these colleges here, right? We know how much college is now. It's absolutely ridiculous. So let's see if we can get some college paid for here, but while also obviously providing a great value to your employee-employer relationship. I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. Tasa, absolutely phenomenal. We can do another one of these. We had a great turnout today, so I really appreciate everyone on the call here. If for some reason you don't have access to our quote and apply software, you can go into the chat box, click on the link, and set up your account right now. Really appreciate all of you, and Tasa, we'll do this again sometime, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you again. Thank you, everyone, and everyone have a blessed day, okay? Talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.